Disclaimer, any and all footage or audio seen or heard in this video falls under fair use. Learn to tell the difference, you damn bots. Also, just because there's toys in it doesn't mean it's made for kids, or meant for them in any way, shape, or form. If you allow your children to watch this, hey, it's not my fault you're a bad parent.
Velocitron Prime, transform!
Hey! Could you knock it off with the elaborate transformation? I'm trying to watch my Christmas programming here, man.
Oh, fine, very well. Greetings to you, Star Rod, on this happy of holidays. I am the great...
Yeah, you don't have to do the whole pontificating thing, Uncle Vector. I know who you are. Teletran L, resume playback.
I love the Doctor as much as the next time traveler, but what does this have to do with Christmas?
Well, how do you think, man? It's a Christmas special. Specifically, the Doctor, the Witch in the Wardrobe.
Well, it's just that I was figuring since it was the holiday season, you would be making something for the channel.
The pity you're worrying about that for? I got something lined up for the New Year's season.
Well, it's just that I thought... No, not New Year's. I know you have something for New Year's. I was just mainly assuming that maybe you would actually do something for Christmas this year.
Nah, sorry, can't. I got too much on my plate.
Seriously? Not even a Christmas party?
No, ew. I hate people other than my wife. And my dad. And my mom. Okay, maybe a few individuals. I'm just not very that much sociable of a bot.
Well, what about something involving the channel?
Yeah, like what, Unc? Another holiday message from Dad? I was lucky enough that he was in a good mood to even do that while he was by the fireside last year. I mean, it's not like it's gonna be able to match up to David K's yearly Christmas messages.
Well, what about your short compilations?
My what? Oh, shit, that actually might be a good idea. Nah, that's never gonna work this year.
Well, how about that episode 2 of live motion capture picture theater that you were promising?
Okay, wow, that is an entire can of worms that I am not even willing to open at the moment.
You're always so stubborn, just like your father. What's that, Safeguard? Oh, that's an excellent idea, and very thematic considering what he's watching.
Hey, well, no, hey, wait, no, come on, man, hey, what are you doing?
Taking matters into my own servos, apparently.
Oh, come on, man, I was just in the middle of that, at least let me finish it.
Nope, absolutely no time for that. We need to do this now before Christmas. It's only in 3 days. Why is there a big golden thread on top of the TARDIS?
Boss was using it for a Christmas ornament this year.
Ugh, the absolute disrespect. Never mind. I will take it.
Velocitron Views presents Earthrise Optimus Prime, inspired by Sheepwielder and all of his ilk. Let's do it! It's the same old song and dance told a million times and a million tries. Oh, ZOMG is the most perfect Optimus Prime that's ever existed, only to be passed up by literal Peak several years later. Ah well, the march of time and progress gets us all. You're not that special. He could do a very nice doot-de-doo, that's for all you Hugh Adams fans out there. I remember being in simpler times. Back in the days when a truck trailer meant the thing could be leader price point. Now we're in the days where it's commander price point. And for anyone wondering what this is actually the Volvo trailer. I've just gang molded it with the Earthrise stuff. Tell you what though, oh, you crack it open and there's a hatchable inside. I lie. Yeah, you know, seeing as how I have the 86 one now, I don't really see an incentive to repaint this in the slightest. Also, apparently, Roller was gray the whole time, and I've just been gaslit into believing that he was blue. Tell you what, though, I will not be sad for this little bastard when he goes due to the ravages of time being on his wheels, seeing as they are clear plat. Oh, looky, how quaint. An Optimus Prime that's Voyager scale, but at a leader price point. Oh, how times have changed. For the work. I will say, though, out of all the Optimuses, he definitely has the best knee give. Or, you know, I would say that if he didn't. Have I made enough jokes about that yet? No. Also, apparently his leg wheels are stolen from one of the Studio Series primes. Insert obligatory fact here. Though I want you to take a look at this, then take a look at this, and tell me that this is not the exact visual definition of It's also insane to me that, like, 75% of his kit was shoved into the Centurion drone pack. And Sideswipe's jetpack that he never used ever again. Oops, did I just spoil a joke in the video that's going to come out in a few weeks? Although I do gotta say, he does look pretty swish with it on, though. Obligatory Matrix chest. So yes, while it is true that he has been dethroned as definitive G1 Optimus in my collection, as well as literally everybody else, I can still confidently say that he still has a place in my collection. Though once I get the comic edition Shockwave, I'm gonna rip off that head and replace it and make him G1 Comic Optimus first chance that I...
What in the world is that noise? Oh, man, that was not a great time for a time travel adventure. Why ever not? Are you alright? No, I'm not okay, you prehistoric asshole! I chugged like 40 quarts of eggnog energon before this. Here it comes. Oh, good Primus, it's everywhere! What in the name of Cybertron is going on here? Oh, hi, son. Yeah. Hey, past Dad. No, I'm good. Wait, you're from the future? Well, what are you doing back here? Well, Dad, what else can I say but we're having a future Christmas party and inviting everyone who's been in all the Velocitron videos. And all because this slagging bastard thought it was a good idea to do it and interrupt my whole Christmas marathon! And I told you this is a good way to spice up your compilation content! Well, excuse me if I, the year-long seasoned YouTuber, didn't think I needed advice from some old son of a glitch who only wrote a blog! Now wait just a second, there's still something about this that I'm not getting. If you wanted to invite your father to a Christmas party, why not just invite the future me? Well, obviously because you're busy, and I respect your time. Now, son, we both know that that's a lie. Yeah, I wasn't even gonna try and sugarcoat that. Okay, fine, it's cause I'm lazy. You coming or not? I better make a plan fast because we've got like 12 other characters to get through. Well, of course I'll come along. Let it never be said that Optimus Prime would willingly turn down a Christmas party. Well, alright then. Let's roll out!
Can't we just walk back in?
Because why the hell else would we be Transformers if we didn't transform, Unk?
Yes, I know he has a point. You don't always have to agree with him over me.
Hello, Z! Wait, what about my trailer?
No time for that! Wait, are we going to have these sequences for every installment?
No, that'll take too long. We don't have as much time. Christmas is only in 2 days. Velocitron Views presents APC-02 Darkmaster.
We'll do it!
Also, for clarification's sake, this is not in any way at all Transformers Prime Megatron. Hold on, are the Hasbro snipers off my back now? Okay, just double checking. Wanted to make sure. Everybody's favorite nigh unidentifiable space pancake with wings who turns into the galaxy's worst tyrant. You know, aside from him. Though that doesn't mean there's undeniability for how much you can whoosh this thing around. Also, little head poomph there. Of course, though, this was intentionally done by the designers. I guess for the sake of, you know, Meg's not crashing into every single building. Also, that cannon on top has got to cause some serious drag. Then again, it is a spaceship from an alien planet, so maybe it defies the laws of physics. If you were able to go back in time and tell a little Babby Hoovel former 13 years ago that this would be the most peak Prime Megatron figure that has ever existed, but also tell him that it wasn't made by Joe Hasbro, I would have called you batshit crazy. And may also have called the cops. I also need to preface this as a sticker so that the Hasbro snipers don't come back. Damn, would you look at those damn shark teeth on this motherfucker? Such a shame, too, he just escaped the Buckethead allegations. And for those of you wondering why I got rid of the first edition and the red Prime Megatrons, is for 2 simple reasons. Firstly, this. Yes, I'm a simple man. But chiefly, most of all...
God, you don't know how right that feels.
In fact, let's do a little community engagement. Comment down below whether you think it's better Optimus and Megatron should be the same height, or one should be taller than the other. It's also nice knowing that I now have a figure of Satan's crystallized blood's most #1 addict to scale along with the rest of his troops in the proper size. That size being towering over all of them like a megalomaniacal crack addict. And speaking of
Oh, baby.
never had I known how much I needed light features in my toys, yet never known until I received it. Of course, no Satan's crystallized blood crack addict worth half his salt is complete without making that addiction into a weapon. Of course, his #1 prime evidence for his grave robbing allegations don't come packaged with this. This is like video games, that's DLC. But I don't even care, this thing just looks so damn cool. I don't know how I could have gone this long without owning this thing in the first place, but I'm so glad that I have it now. Also, for those of you wondering my latest comedy skit if he was actually aiming for Optimus, no. He was aiming for this rat. Be sure to like and subscribe for more stilettoed wingnut abuse. And leave a comment on what figure you want me to cover next. Velocitron Views presents the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter Transformers collaboration figure.
Let's do it.
And for any of you who are wondering why the box is in the background now, well, they do say variety is the spice of life. You know what else is the spice of life? The fact that after the 2 big boys of the 2 big bad factions, the very next thing I do is an up-to-date figure. Give or take a couple of days. You know what we could really use more of in this day and age? Figures that come with their own unique stands. Well, I say stand, but this is really just an overglorified way of holding 2 of his accessories. The ship itself ain't so bad either, very accurate to the show. It's even got a bubble cockpit hatch section for opening up to include absolutely nothing. Why this came without an approximate Grogu, I will never understand. But what I can understand is that with the power of imagination, and these brand new molded blast effects parts, this bastard can go whooshing around! But in plaid. Shout out to the 2 or 3 magnificent people in the comments who get that Spaceballs reference. He can also do a proper Gunny McShoot. Ah, such a shame. We've been waiting years for a Halo Transformers crossover, and yet they gave us the wrong silent helmeted protagonist. But at least it was of a nearly silent helmeted protagonist that didn't take his helmet off in the first damn episode. And this is an official mode in the instructions. Why? Wow. Would you look at that? About 15 or so years ago, these used to be poorly executed and thought out vanity mech suits. But look how far we've come. The transformation on this guy is very fun and easy to do, especially multiple times. And thanks to his articulation, the poses this guy can pull off are insane. He can even rev up his engines to show how pissed off he is at Giancarlo Esposito. Especially with how inevitable it is that he's somehow gonna return in the movie. He even has a little blaster pistol holder, no Jango Fett or Boba's doing that. He can bring you in online or offline. Your choice. Of all the uses I've seen of holograms, I never would have imagined one would use it as drip. Still looks freaking cool. Also, baseplate can be used as a shield. Oh, look at that, it's even got the rhino symbol on it. Or your mom. Tail section also becomes his rifle. Sure, call it parts forming all you want, but it won't matter once you're dead. Still a shame about the uselessness of that bubble dome thing, though, as well as the stick it comes on. Then again, never let it be said that a Mandalorian isn't resourceful. Now that there's what I call using the old Beskar noggin. So in conclusion, if this truly means this is the comeback of the Star Wars crossover figures, then I wouldn't change it for anything. Wait, does that mean this figure's name is Mando, or just N1 Starfighter? Now like and subscribe, or else I'm gonna hire this guy to come after you. Velocitron Views presents Universal Studios The Ride Evac. Let's do it! Gotta say, hey, for a not at all available anymore figure of a dubiously canon character to a dubiously canon ride, this figure isn't all entirely that bad. Although the seating arrangement certainly is. Not to mention the big fuck-off thruster in the back that'll definitely cause some whiplash that would kill any ride attendant. You know, it only just occurred to me now, after the longest time, that this right here is not a Minicon port. Missed opportunity on it. You know what shouldn't be a missed opportunity, though? Make this into a studio series, Joe Hasbro. I know you can. Because otherwise, we'll be left with this extremely rare, archaically designed, but still solid figure. Normally, I'd say wearing door wings as a fashion statement was outdated and old, but these aren't even really doors, are they? Call them hatch wings? Canopy wings? Who cares? The design is 12 years old. What should be cared about is the unintentionally placed C-clips that are on his shoulders. Like, what exactly are those gonna hold? Though for a rare, discontinued 12-year-old figure, it still has pretty good posing. I also find his use of stomach turbine and hip guns to be an adorable fashion statement. And although I've managed to hold on to him for all this time, this glaring, blazing white stress mark here basically tells me that this thing is not long for this world. Give it a couple more years. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so we can bully Joe Hasbro into making a Studio Series figure. Velocitron Views presents Transformers Studio Series Transformers 1B127. Well, hey, would you look at that? A Velocitron view with a concurrent figure that's only just released.
After a 2-week-long gap of no new Velocitron View videos.
But hey, means you get another video with another background box. With that out of the way, here's another thing that makes this one special. Actual comparison! Now, I'd have to watch the film again to make sure, but I'm pretty sure there are only minimal differences between these two vehicle modes. But from what I do remember, the swooshy bits on the mainline version are cleaner and not as jumbled as on the Studio Series. Though, consequently, on the other side of the coin, the front part is a lot more accurate on the Studio Series than the mainline. Also, probably because it doesn't have a gaping Autobot symbol before the Autobots ever were a thing. Let's give him the old roll test. Believe it or not, that was an actual success. Aw, look at the little flumpy dumpy Keegan Michael Key robot. He's the most adorable, yes he is. Especially when you compare him to this gargantuan fuck. The Studio Series 1 is a lot more demure and, you know, reasonably proportioned compared to the barrel-chested mainline over here. Though while the mainline can do this, which is actually a pretty cool gimmick, at least the Studio Soraya's one can be fucked to have both cannons. And both knife hands. Not to mention his posing is superb, which was a given. He also comes with standard rifle because... Look, in all honesty, I really don't know why he has another rifle when Elita 1 has one on the way. But yeah, it is an improvement. Wait, wasn't there some kind of meme that I was supposed to be doing for this video? Nah, I'm sure it's not. As always, be sure to leak and subscribe for some more Velocitron. Velocitron Views presents a... Wait, hold on a second, this isn't right. It says here I'm supposed to be reviewing Age of the Prime's Megatronus, but all I see here is Power of the Prime's Titan Master Megatronus, so where the heck is... Oh. There he is. You know, I don't really think I can easily describe in words how amazing it is that we finally here. Though whether that means that we finally have a proper generic Megatronus figure or that we have the Dreamwave design is up to interpretation. Though I must say, out of all the tanks that we've had for anyone related to this character that we've had, this one is by far the most Tankenstein that has ever been given to us. Basically what I'm trying to say here is, Joe Hasbro? Someone cooked here. And the fact that they had enough budget for a tank swivel makes this even more perfect. Certainly much better design for an alt mode than a head with a symbol on it. Dear sweet Primus Christ. He may not have been Satan's greatest soldier, but he was definitely his first. Not to mention the absolute aura this man exudes. And hark, Hasbro enjoyers, for the Requiem Blaster has exited the annals of third party and into the first party sphere. Ready to absolutely obliterate anything. And for those of you who enjoyed his appearance in TF1, he also come with spiked trident staff sword. Though let it never be said that he cannot dual wield for her pleasure. And trust me when I tell you, she has a lot to give. And whilst he may not have a removable face and movable jaw, or have a combined on-screen runtime of more than 5 minutes,
The flames of his hatred can still burn brighter than the sun itself!
and whilst the progenitor of this design in Dreamwave may have passed on, it still lives on today in this figure and in our hearts. Another grand thing that these new figures have brought us is that these two lovebirds can finally be together in harmony. Wait a second, hold on now. Where do those two think they're going? Wait, hold up. What's that music? Oh. Oh. Oh my.
Ah, finally. After eons of cucking by Hasbro, the Fallen once again cracks his shouting.
Can I turn my audio receptors back on? No, you may not. Yeah, I'm just gonna assume that's a yes and do it anyway. I am so unbelievably sorry for this behavior. Oh, there's no need, Vector. We were both there thousands of years ago when this happened before. I'm seriously supposed to be this gooner's namesake?
Oh joy, Vector Prime. How awful it is to see you again, brother. And you as well. Runt. Primus Christ, this is so weird seeing this from the outside.
Yeah, okay, no, I'm going to be putting a moratorium on this right now. We have a lot more important things to deal with than whatever the hell this is.
And who the slag is this supposed to be?
He is my baby boy, Megatronus, and I will not hear any slander towards him.
Oh, sweet Primus fucking Christ. Listen, Uncle Megatronus, if I vouch for you, will you come with us to our Christmas party?
And exactly what is it the Fallen needs to be vouched for by a runt like you?
Oh, well, that's very simple, you see. I also unashamedly and lovingly crack my own wife.
Ah, you're all right, little one. Of course I'll come to your little Christmas party. If only so to prove that the Fallen is the greatest uncle of the 13.
Yeah, good for you, man.
Wait, so that's seriously it? That's Megatronus Prime? That's all who the bot's name I've tarnished is? A gooner? Be glad that's all it is, Megatron. At least you don't have memories of a past life living with him. Well, I suppose when you put it like that, it is better. Oh, Primus, help us all. We're 6 spots into this, and I already regret it.
Velocitron Views presents Transformers Earthspark Terran hashtag. Let's do it! Windowless boxes. And the last figures of Earthspark being the last of its dying breed. Oh no! Anyway, if you ever watched Earthspark and thought, I need a transforming Autobot who can out-tweet Elon and hack a Decepticon with her Wi-Fi, then hashtag is your girl. Though with the apparent backlash I've been hearing about Seasons 2 and 3, even though I haven't watched them yet, I'm not entirely sure that her Season 2 alt mode was the best way to go. You know, for one of the last figures in the entire line before they become lost for... Then again, we rarely ever see pickup truck alt modes anymore, so it's a nice change. Roll test! Someone clip that and put it on and there she is! She looks exactly like she does in the show. Definitely. I'm totally not trying to point out the fact I haven't seen the other season. Though, of course, because this is Earthspark's last hurrah and Hasbro doesn't give a fuck anymore, she doesn't have any kind of even illusion of her eyes underneath her visor. Which is a real shame. But so long as the ponytail and the silhouette are there, I'm pretty much happy. You know, I've been sitting here for about 20 minutes trying to come up with a joke about this thing. But I just can't. Because I have no fucking idea what... Inability to identify the melee weapon aside, I at least know what a blicky is when I see it. Which kind of feels almost out of character. You know, aside from one member of the family. Really makes me wish I could live in the world where these toys kept coming out and this was retooled into her first alt mode. Though I gotta say, even though this may be the beginning of the end, I at least can say that the Malto family is all here together. Be sure to hit that like button harder than Mandroid hits creepy scientist vibes. Okay, aside from one of those opening sentences, I am never using ChatGPT to write a review for me ever again. I'd rather just deal with winging it. Velocitron Views presents Studio Series 116, Bumblebee Movie Bumblebee. For real this time. Let's do it! Sorry for not getting this one out sooner, folks. I'm still coming off the sickness from last week. And not only does this have the distinction of being another windowless box, but also the distinction of being the final numbered Studio Series figure. You know, besides Ape Link. Roll test.
Fatality.
And this lovely yellow Bucky boy is actually finally licensed by VW for this one. Which is the same reason it took so long to come out. And it's more visible in person, but the paint job on this is actually a lot paler compared to most Bumblebees. So on my screen, you guys are probably seeing a vibrant yellow. But for me, he's dehydrated piss! And oh my goodness, look at him! Oh, he's just so yellow and punchy. Oh, yes he is. He's the most adorable Iron Giant XP known to man. Yes he is. You know, after that whole tweaking session, I just realized that I sold the original. Which, ironically, was the concept design and not accurate to the actual film. So, basically, I'm shit out of luck when it comes to comparisons. Ooh, compromise! Here, Bumble Punch before voice rip out. Bumble Punch before rip out, but on Alien. Oh, and Bumble Punch from movie that didn't financially do well.
Though while I don't have the original for comparison, I can definitely say that the posability on this is far less hampered by any of the kibble. As a matter of fact, the addition of the door wings being posable actually adds a lot of life and emotion to the character. And sure, we may have lost the battle mask in the process, but I think it was a well-worthy change. Best case scenario, they release this again with the new packaging art style with the window, but with the battle mask head and the red eyes for... Wait, did he always have the blade? Or was that just in Rise of the Beast? I'm confused. Quick wrap up here. Here he is with our two main bats. And here he is with Big Rig Pops. Happy late Father's Day. I guess this technically counts. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and please, Joe Hasbro, notice me, please. My financial future depends on you. Velocitron Views presents Age of the Prime Star Convoy. Let's do it! And may I say, welcome everybody to the Velocitron Views mid-season finale. Also, Happy America Day, or something or other. I don't know, it was something important. I think it is painfully evident that this guy is way too big for my set, but beggars can't be choosers. Even so, let's quickly clarify some things first. This was bought directly from Hasbro Pulse. Please notice me, Hasbro Senpai. And secondly, I'm making a call-out post to everyone who complained about the design not being the final design. Now, I know that little chest piece there seems like Power Master Optimus Prime's, but no, if you look directly under it, you can see the Star Convoy chest under there. I have receipts! Anyways, back to the main event. I think that this is probably the longest truck of Optimus we're ever going to get. You know, without using third party for cheating. And you'd think that it not having a trailer hitch for the cab to move around would be a downside, but it actually isn't. Because I'm not fishing for something that wasn't intended in the first place. But of course, with any big old boy like this, you can guarantee that there are gonna be some secrets. Well, ain't this an adorable little boxy boy? But little did we know that the secrets would have their own secrets! Oh, private, damn it! Yeah, I suppose it wouldn't be a proper Star Convoy if we didn't have Micromaster Hot Rod. And yeah, the gold crest is on the legs and the head doesn't move, but... I just don't care. Because unlike most people who have already reviewed this, I have the incredible ability to realize that this set was not made for him. Because it was actually made for this guy. I don't remember transforming him.
Oh, sweet Primus above, he's absolutely glorious!
And remember what I said back in the Megatronus review that he exudes a lot of aura? Well, peep this shit out. How much aura do you have to be able to successfully pull off the Akuma Raging Demon pose? Of course, that's not to say that he'd ever hurt a fly, considering the 13th is basically just Optimus, but before he had the... Man, what the hell are you doing here? But peep your ears and listen to this cacophonous chorus of beauty. Man, that toy guy was right. Those are some Unicron trilogy joints right there. And it feels so good. And yeah, sure, he doesn't come with a Matrix, but the Zodiac is close enough, right? Look, this damn thing has been relevant to any point of Transformers lore for the past few years. I think we need to just let him have this. Another thing we can let him have is Hot Rod. I tried to stuff him inside, Big Pops wasn't having it. Though the Zodiac itself is a thing of pure beauty. Another issue around the fandom to address. There, see, it's not that hard. What do go hard, though, are his blast effects, which, if I'm looking at correctly, have a slight shiny pearlescence to them. That's unique. Though I'm still kind of confused about this little nubby thing that he comes with that doesn't seem to do... Holy shit, he got a lightsaber! If you don't think it's cool that this is the closest thing Optimus Prime has to a lightsaber, then you're dead wrong. Now, when it's come to Optimus Primes with their ion blasters over the years, they've had irons, they've had big irons, but now we have the bigger iron.
Apparently, even in backwoods days of Cybertron, all it took was one bullet. What was that one bullet used for, you may ask?
Oh, nothing much really, just enough to fire a giant f***-off laser beam. This is plastic, by the way. And to any of you who are probably asking why I'm not commenting on the whole Optimus Prime reincarnation thing, it's because I like it, okay? And from how I interpret the scaling, it's not because Optimus is bigger or stronger than his fellow Primes, but because he's the gentlest giant. Velocitron Views presents Legacy Evolution Nova Prime. Let's do it! Okay, folks, gonna be real with you. This one's gonna be quicker than usual because I've got a trip that I'm going on tomorrow. Which, hey, means no content for a week, which sucks, but on the upside... Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not stressed about anything. I'm going to Japan, and I'm just kind of excited. And nervous. So basically nervous. And out of all the options I could choose for a Velocitron, why did I pick this guy? Well, mostly because I finally found him after so long. And also because Age of the Prime's Alchemist is currently the most up-to-date Prime that I'm about to get, but I'll be away for a while, so I won't be able to do that, so, this is close enough, right? Time for a good old roll test. Wait a minute, why is there a clone trip? Ah, I see. Racial motivation. Ah, how quaint. The asshole behind the mask. Actually, what I really think is that Nova Prime probably was taking roids of some kind. God, putting him in this pose feels so wrong, but if you got the body type for it, you might as well try it. Yet hark, from out of the ether, the thought doth blooms. What if Cybertron, better than everyone else? Oh, hey, come on, don't look away from me like that. That joke was good. Man, Cybertron's leadership post the Age of the Primes was fucked up. I mean, just think about it. They go from colonialism to racism. You know, it might be weird to say, but I think colonialism has the better wingspan. And you know, come to think of it, with the Armada Nemesis coming out soon, I fully expect this thing to be repainted into IDW Nemesis Prime at some point in the future. And I gotta say it, he wears the mold a lot better than this guy. You know, ruminating on it, if Cybertron Optimus ever came into contact with Nova Prime, I think he'd have a conniption and then die. And out of any of the 13 Primes, if they were to look into the future and see the history of Cybertron's leadership, I'd pretty much say that Liege Maximo would be the only one who'd fuck with him. If I had one! Sorry, you're right. Lost the Happy. But the Happy's back! Be sure to like and subscribe, or else he'll come to your house and colonialize your mom's room. Hey yo, Mr. Colonialism! It's time to go!
What is this? A young infidel who thinks he can order around the great Nova Prime. You must certainly have a death wish, little interloper.
Nobody but me calls anyone an infidel. And especially not to my nephew.
Huh. Guess that's 2 cannons you finally blew your load out of after all these years, huh?
Hey.
Could we please just focus on the task at hand here?
Okay, geez, fine. Way to be a buzzkill, Uncle Vector.
How is this possible? How can I, Primus's perfect chosen, be injured like this?
Yeah, probably because your name doesn't start with H and ends in Otrod. So here, it goes like this. Against Uncle Vector's better judgment, I am allowing you to come with us to our holiday party this year. In the future. About, few months from now. But only on the condition that you are on your very best behavior.
And why should I listen to you, you ball of nothingness?
Oh, nothing much. Not really. It's like no big deal at all, but maybe because I won't have a certain someone Leak your long history of misdeeds and racially motivated war crimes to the entire universe.
What fear should I have for the universe?
Oh, did he say universe? Ah, yeah, that's so silly. He actually meant Twitter.
They don't have me on the files, do they?
You know, I'm not actually quite sure. I mean, unless you diddled some kids recently. Hashtag?
Nope. He's in the clear, boss.
Then that would be a no, big white man.
Then I accept your terms, but only so that I may spread the gospel of Cybertron's glory to others who may not yet have heard it.
Sounds great. So how about we get you inside of a TARDIS, eh?
So in the one universe we don't die, that's who we leave in charge?
I know, right? Total miscast. I suppose that's what happens when the Terminus Blade deletes the concept of multiversal singularities from us.
Hey, I'm not complaining. At least that means I stay alive and not dead.
Velocitron ビュースが宝エースパークエディターを発表 Let's go!
You know, I originally was planning on doing this entire review in Japanese, but then again, I've only ever been to Japan for a week, so I'm just gonna stop there before I get the racial allegations. Even then, I'm particularly proud of the Let's Say Go bit. It's a nice reference to a completely different continuity, but a reference nonetheless. Okay, let's get a couple elephants out of the room first. One, yes, I got this while I was in Japan. In fact, that's entirely why I went to Japan in the first place. And two, yes, I know this is a de-gimmicked version of the American one. That's entirely the reason why I bought it in the first place. Okay, I think I'm gonna remove this out of the shot now. Whoa! Damn! Primus, damn, she was willing to send herself full on through that box. Which fully lends on to my personal fan theory that she's the dummy in the bedroom. And this is also a very nice vehicle mode that Alita barely ever gets to have. Which also lends to her more bombastic nature in the Earthspark show compared to most other Alitas. And for a dummy mommy, she's definitely got the build for it. God damn! Sadly though, while she has been de-gimmicked, that doesn't change the fact that she doesn't have any proper knees. If that even is her knee, I'm pretty sure that's her calf. Though thankfully, unlike the American version, her blaster accessory is separate and not attached to her arm permanently. And there's two of them, which is twice as good! Although sadly, because of the way the sculpt is, she can't exactly hold her arms out straight in front of her without, you know, looking like that. God, that's like dislocating your shoulder just to point your arm forward. Okay, after about an hour's worth of waiting, I will not be turning this figure's head again because while I was trying to change its look, it snapped off. What the fuck? You know, Takara, if you were gonna let something like this slip by, then maybe you should keep your damn imports. You know, I had a whole lot more to say about this thing, but after that happening, I can't be bothered to do the full 3 minutes anymore. Like and subscribe if you guys want more. Velocitron Views presents Age of the Prime Cybertron Sideways. Let's do it. You all know what that means. Comparison time again, yeah! We'll start off right off the bat with size, and I gotta say, looking at these two, it is very different. One decided to go on a diet, while the other ate all of the Cheerios in the fridge and is currently gorging himself on everything else. However, one of the major differences aside from that is also the paint applications. Some are missing in some places, especially for some very obvious places, which are just completely bare, leaving us fans to fix the work. I mean, seriously, look at this. Look at this. It, like, dwarfs the damn thing. One is a ninja star, while the other is a goddamn batarang. Moving on to robot mode, and oh, my Primus, he looks so good. His articulation is almost entirely similar to the original, but with a few differences. Like the wing things back here, which on the original were one solid piece, but are now separately articulated. And as you might notice, the waist piece down here isn't two separate parts that fold together or for transformation. Instead, it's just one whole thing. Another thing to note with the original is that while he has the mass on the new one definitely has the height advantage. With the stipulation that he's far more parts for me. And unlike the original's bombastic spring-loaded Cyber Key power, the new one's is, like most modern Cybertron figures, de-gimmicked. And by that I mean switch to manual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kerplunk. And with a flick of the switch, boom. In my opinion, however, from a meta sense, this is probably the most definitive body Sideways will ever have. At least compared to these chuckle schmucks. Oh, quit your whining, handlebar hair. You'll get your video when your update comes out, which is basically a shoo-in since we have the listing for it. So quit your complaining. All in all, it's good to be back, and be sure to like and subscribe so we can bully Joe Hasbro into making a Noise Maze repaint.
And you're positively sure that he knows what he's doing? Don't worry. We paid him the Shanix for it, didn't we?
Ah, slacking scrap. A dead end. Suppose that means I have no chance but to fight my way out.
Stay right where you are, Sideways. There's no way out. Yeah, sucker! We got you surrounded at least from this side! You know, I'm starting to see why Bumblebee prefers not to speak in my universe.
If you auto boobs really think I'm going down without a fight, you've got another thing coming.
Ha! This sucker actually thinks that we want to fight! Yep, typical Decepticon mistake in every multiverse. You have your clean shot.
What?
Ghoul. Oh.
Don't think I'm down for the count.
Like I said, Khan, you're coming in offline or offline. Your choice.
Oh yeah, son! You just got served by the Mandola Riot!
What the frag?
Don't pay attention to him. That's just how he communicates.
Hey, I don't mind, so long as you're putting up the Shanix.
By popular demand via vote, Velocitron Views presents Studio Series 86, Megatron. Let's get it on. Ha! Alright, let's get a few caveats out of the way first. Yes, his alt mode is a tank. Yes, it's not a gun. Do I care? No! Well, I mean, I did at one point, but, you know, I was the first one to say that him having his gun mode as an accessory would be enough. And wouldn't you know it? Therefore, all of your complaints about it not being a gun are invalid. But does that mean that this is the most inaccurate Studio Series figure ever to be produced? Psych, that was a trick question. It was always Crankcase. Although one thing to focus on for the box for the first time in one of these videos, that is not Soundwave's arm. That is just Megatron's color corrected to blue with yellow and red parts. Joe Hasbro, you really think you can fool us with this? You just revealed Studio Series 86 Soundwave. You think we're idiots? Okay, one more thing to talk about the tank mode because I want to move on to robot mode stuff. Retroactively, this mode for Galvatron makes more sense now. Cry about it. And it was thus, after years of searching did Twilight Sparkle finally realize that friendship was indeed
Such heroic nonsense.
You know what? I'll say it because nobody else has the balls to. This is the most perfect G1 Megatron that we will ever get. And no, the shin colors don't matter. This is what they were like in the film. Shut up! And besides, who doesn't love a little gunmetal contrast amidst this sea of slate gray? Not to mention, this man's back game is so clean. And he is by default the best Megatron simply because his tank barrel on his back is actually, you know, not just a jumbled mess of parts connected to something that doesn't have any right being in the figure. And why, yes, of course. I am talking about you. Comparison time! Here he is next to an inferior model. His future Leonard Nimoy self. His retconned inspiration / previous holder of position of Satan's greatest soldier. And of course, his lifelong nemesis. He also comes with the Murder of Prime starter pack lightsaber that he inexplicably pulled out of nowhere to go against Optimus's one-episode Energon X. Well then by that logic, Optimus should have come with the piece of shrapnel that Megatron yeeted into his abdomen. This doesn't feel right at all. Ah, much better. You know what was charming when Shockwave did it? But when Megatron does it, it's just cursed. I'm not gonna do this. Ironically enough, 86 Megs has the exact opposite problem that 86 Prime has with Earthrise Prime. His canon's a bit neutered. But much like with the Energon Maze Net, it'll ever be said that robbing isn't an option. Rule number 1 of being the leader of the Decepticons. Don't trust anybody, not even yourself. You know, I'm kind of secretly hoping that I'm the first one to think of this, because this actually does scale pretty well with him. Congratulations, you wibbly-kneed, mold-overused bastard. You get to stay in my collection for a purpose. Velocitron Views presents Earthspark Soundwave. Let's do it! Wow, he really cannot fit in a whole frame. You know, I wasn't entirely convinced that any alternate mode of Soundwaves that was a flying vehicle could surpass the stealth drone. But honestly, he fits the mold for a bomber far better than Megatron does. And as I've already stated, the wingspan on this motherfucker is so big. Jeez, and I thought Cybertron Sideways was a batarang. And of course, being so big, it actually practically looks good from most angles. And one smooth transformation later, and we have the bad ending to the Soundwave Simp Chronicles. Said ending scenario being the jealous ex who hates you for having grown into a better person. I'm not even joking about that last bit. That's literally Soundwave's entire character in the show. One thing that most other Soundwaves can be jealous of is of his lithe and nimble proportions that lead to some really fantastic posing. And you know, it's a real shame because of the budget and the fact that this is one of the last Earthspark figures that he's not going to come with any of his cassettes. Though that just might have been a worthy sacrifice, considering, you know, he's one of the only 2 Decepticons in this toy line that are actually good. Because the rest of them are just bitch-ass Cyberverse repaint! And I would say that this would be the final Decepticon for this entire toy line before it goes the way of the dodo, but apparently there's also a Megatron that's coming out that actually has his Energon Mace, so I don't know, maybe I'll pick that up. Though thankfully, this is not the end for the Earthspark cartoon, because it was announced recently that Season 4 was coming! And of course by that I mean Season 3 Part 2. Hopefully that means Joe Hasbro will be convinced enough to pump out at least a few more of these. You know, for the ones we didn't get. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so we can give Joe Hasbro the hint to let this toy line go on for at least one more wave, please! Velocitron Views presents Age of the Primes, Micronus Prime. It's time to You know, if you were to tell me that this would be the way they'd do the creator of the minicons in figure form after all these years, I would have thought you'd just been flat out crazy and instead we're thinking of a modern update of Pretenders. And I still believe that, but here we are right now. And also, technically speaking, I'm starting out like this because, yes, Micronus Prime is in vehicle mode. Now, if I were one of the 13 first Transformers in history ordained by Primus himself to fight Unicron, what would I exactly do with my relic like all the others? I know! I'll bring it into constant danger, free from any sort of protection, and risk it getting destroyed a lot. Although, for a glorified mech suit, this thing is actually pretty posable. And you wouldn't know unless I told you that that leg right there is half transformed and not kneeling. And when it comes to this thing, forget about Gatling elbows, it's got Gatling fingers. Oh, you cheeky piece of... These things look like the Minicon symbol. Moving on. Oh, wow, a unicycle. Well, that's not very stable at all. But, of course, all of us really know what we're really here for. It's for this damn hockey puck! A hockey puck with which in 7 easy steps become the real reason that we paid $26. I kid, of course, because for $20, this actually gives him a lot more posability than you'd think Minicons could have. Though sadly, I'm not entirely sure that these clear plastic joints are gonna stand up to the test of time. God damn it! But now, what am I worrying about? I haven't experienced any breakages thus far, so I'm in the clear as far as I'm concerned. Oh yeah, that's an even better place to put a sought-after relic other than just on the front of your mech suit. Put it on your back so you can't tell when the enemies are aiming for it. This is the best I could do given its wobbliness. Shut up! And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the grand finale, the return of the roll test, starring Cyberworld Optimus Prime. Yes, I caved in and bought one. Don't think about it too much. Well, to put it fairly, that was an F- on the dismount. You're no Tron character, that's for sure. But the style points is an automatic 12! Also, completely unrelated to any kind of movies that may have come out recently, like and subscribe so we can bully Joe Hasbro, not for more Minicon figures, but for a Tron collab. Come on, it's the last 80s thing you have left to do, Hasbro! Velocitron Views presents Studio Series 86 Constructicons, Phase 1! Let's do it! Okay, I know I should probably talk about the figures in front of me right now, but right now I just can't wait until the next Earthspark review. Ooh, Season 4 confirmed, bitches! Then again, upon further reflection, it may actually just be Season 3, as Seasons 2 and 3 were just Seasons 2, Part 1 and 2. But we could go into more depth on that later. Right now, we need to focus on these green limey boys. Starting with the head mamma jamma of the entire crew, who for some reason is the leg and not the head. Scrap it! Okay, first and foremost, let's get the elephant out of the room. Yes, these guys are basically reduxes of the old Combiner Wars figures. Do I care? No! Do I like that they're better than them by having smaller editions? Yeah! Don't let certain other, I won't mention by name, pessimistic reviewers fool you. These figures are fine. Dare I say, on a technical level, they're even better than the Combiner Wars figures. And really, if you think about it, the Combiner Wars figures are just the Devastation figures. These are the figures for the characters from G1, the show. Or I guess given the fact that they're in Studio Series, the movie. And a hop, skip, and a jump of a transformation later, and we have Scraper! What? Do I honestly need to finish that joke? You all know what it is by now. If anyone ever comes up and tells you that the 86 Constructicons are bad, evidence number 1, why they're wrong. Boom. Argument invalid. Not to mention their range of articulatoriness is vastly improved. And look at that! They actually come with their proper weapons this time! And now moving on, because I can only fit so much into 3 minutes, it's the one with the most ill-fitting name, Bone Crusher! And honestly, I can't really say much about this guy if he did anything in G1 because, you know, the Constructicons as a whole are kind of superfluous characters. And the only real notable thing that Bone Crusher does, he doesn't even do! Because that's him from a completely different continuity. And an even easier hop and a skip transformation sequence later, because he's a deluxe compared to Scrapper being a Voyager. Primus, damn, this boy has got some tits. And despite having one of the more weedier looking guns, unlike the Combiner Wars version, this motherfucker is not so fimbly in the leg that he can't stand up! Why the hell did I zoom in on the open space between his legs? In short, I'd call Phase 1 of our blue-collar neon working boys a resounding success. For the size, class, and budget they were given. Tune in next time on Velocitron Views for Phase 2 of the Constructicon reviews. And also like and subscribe. Velocitron Views presents Transformers Earthspark Terran Thrash. I can't even be bothered to say let's do it this time. Happy holidays, folks, and this year brings with us some apparently major disappointments. I haven't gotten to Earthspark's finale yet, no spoilers. But this figure is most assuredly not one of those disappointments. Well, except for that weapon storage. And for those of you who might think that this is inaccurate, it actually is not, as I have watched a bit of Season 2, and in the second season, Thrash just completely loses his sidecar. Because apparently Mo is old enough to ride a motorcycle now. Which means, you guessed it, comparison time! And justification for keeping the Warrior Class version, because this is his Season 1 form. Motherfuckers out here acting like it's a goddamn Gundam series. And a lithe and nimble 22-step transformation later, and we have the star of 2 of my comedy shorts. You know, back when I still made those. Good God, his biceps and his face are so metallic I could basically see myself! And ooh la la, what a lithe, nimble boy he is. Not to mention this far more show-accurately sized shield, he's a regular Captain America! He'll Captain America around that shield with the power of friendship! And this gun he found! Okay, I know I'm not entirely finished with Season 2, but I'm still pretty sure he doesn't have that. Though even if he would have a gun, a small little harpoon-like pistol would be far more realistic than this gargantuan thing that he could barely hold up. Here's something I don't talk about as normally. The stark contrast in paint and color is staggering between these two. Be sure to like and subscribe to say hello to the Terrans, because you will likely never see them ever again. You had one fucking job, Paramount. Not shit the bed like you did with TF1. And what did you do? Apparently, you shit the bed like you did with TF1!
Would it help if I'd said sorry?
TARDIS.
No. Oh. It's not like it's my fault. Paramount shit the bed. You know, the youngster's got a point, kid. Uncle Micronus, shut your ever-flabbing gob talker before I punch you into the dead universe. No, sure, fine, don't take my advice. I'm only the father of all the mini-cons and mini-bots all across the universe. Yeah, it's fine, just disregard me.
Velocitron Views presents Age of the Primes Onyx Prime. Jingle Prime, Jingle Prime, Jingle Prime. What hark I say from tip to tail? A description of this creature's origin is not entailed. From draconic bat wings to saber-tusked muzzle and horse legs aplenty, this creature is a puzzle. Then I guess in the eyes of the Lord Primus, this one had the most luck. For the predecessor of all beast formers would obviously be a clusterfuck. But transitioning to robot mode in 12 easy steps, one might be surprised by his gait, I quite bet. Though while gawking at the absolute unit and size of this lad, one might overlook that his artifact is the most changed out of all in his clan. For in first-time translation from page to plastic, an arguable task, they decided his triptych need be more staff than that of a mask. Yet with a twist of his hips and a flick of his dick, he'll change to form of centaur and bowman right quick. A stupendous mode of all his gimmicks to binge. And yet now, only a minute 20 in, I find these rhymes to be cringe. Okay, no, seriously, that was the last rhyme, I promise. I'm not gonna do that anymore. It's run its course. The bit's run its course. And with that, that'll be all the major shorts for this year, folks. Meaning to everyone out there in the world, happy nondescript winter holiday and all that jazz. Be sure to keep your eyes peeled this Christmas for a special little video. And come New Year's, the death of the Crankshaft Comedy Club. You know, the annoying part about having a guy who has an artifact that allows him to see into the past, present, and future is you know he's going to be smug about it when something he predicts actually comes true. Like, subscribe, and comment so we can spread some holly jolly cheer before next year comes around.
Well, ain't this just a fine how-do-you-do?
Care for a sample?
Oh, Uncle Victor, didn't know you drank high-octane energon.
Oh no, not me. I was just doing that as a joke. I'm always on duty. Although, I should probably give this to Who Star Convoy then. He is always outside of the party in most places.
You know, now that I come to think of it, all in all in the end, this wasn't such a bad idea. Spending time with the people that have brought our channel this far, up to almost 2,100 subscribers. Not to mention all the people that you care about most. I certainly hope you think that, hotshot. Hope I'm not too late for the party.
Whoa. Hey, honey! Whoa, this is a sweet surprise. How'd you know we'd be here?
Oh, a certain stick in the mud just decided to hand me the info of where you were. And like I said, ain't no way I'm missing a rager like this. Yeah, listen, see, I'm really sorry about not being there enough. Up. No excuses. You cooped yourself up on working on the channel for a whole month ever since that fiasco in October. Yeah, I know, I have no excuse. However, you can make it up to me. Oh, really? That easy? Well, how was that? By giving Mama some sugar, baby.
Whoa!
Wow.
Oh, you naughty two-wheeler, you know how to rev my engine.
You slagging damn right I do. Now, go and mingle. I'm gonna go do the same. I'll see you later tonight.
Oh boy, promise. Jove, what a header of a woman!
Oh, what are you lot still doing here? It's Christmas Day, isn't it? Go home, spend the time with your families. Open presents, play games, drink eggnog. Or hot chocolate, more preferably. I want to thank you lot on this whole year's worth of journey that you've been on with us. Because in the end, there's only one person on the TARDIS crew that we couldn't do this without. You. So everyone have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and like before, we'll check back in with you for New Year's. Hey yo, Starone, come over here and look at this! My Cronus is taking jello shots off of Evac's Turbine! Well, gotta go, folks. I sure slag ain't gonna miss that. Geronimo Z!
Another successful task, wouldn't you say, brother?
Indeed it has. It is the greatest Christmas gift you could have ever have given me, Vector.
And so, our hero's journey has reached its end, with much more holly and jolly left to spend. So to all of us from here at the Whoville Chapel, to all of you in sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.